that we completed while we were doing the multi-beam mapping during our weather days?
Negative. Short answer. Our shipboard multi-beam, while very, very good, only produced about a 50-meter grid resolution, and we got some AUV map on loan from Embare that's 1 meter. And so that is pretty much has been defining our AO entirely.
And do you know how far above the seafloor the AUV typically flies? By any chance?
I can make a guess, but this particular survey I do not know. They were probably 20 meters, 20 to 50 meters.
So pretty close, hence the high resolution. Very cool.
I can come up off the bottom if you'd prefer, Greg. Okay. Coming up a bit.
Got a question for the geology team at the Inner Space Center, if they're available.
You may end up having to hop that cliff.
Go up it?
You may.
Okay.
Just
how deep do you think it is?
The cliff in general, it's probably 20 meters.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I'll just stay on the side of it then. Give us something to look at here.
Okay, formerly ROV Argus camera, excuse me, an apology. I've complained before that I didn't think it was all that great, but these have been gorgeous views of the Herc.
Yeah, it's about to get, it's getting a little more turbid here, actually. Like it's just getting cloudy just now. So that's gonna change a little. Yeah, so the depth there is about 16 meters, the depth of this cliff.
Shannon, are you available for a
18 meters.
Geology question?
Ready whenever you are.
Thanks.
I'm also fighting a current now.
Question is, what erosion or weathering processes happen in this kind of deep sea environment?
So you're going to have some stuff. You just heard them talking in the background about currents. So some of that current coming by will have sediment load with it, and it'll be able to break stuff down. But it's, I mean, not real bad. What you see more than that is sediment being deposited on top of things. So that's actually part of what we're really interested in with this part of the project, is looking around at these different ages of lavas and different shapes of lavas and figuring out how much of that's being covered by sediment that's drifting in and settling, kind of like snow covering everything.
Awesome. Yeah, we've definitely been seeing a lot of that, especially noticeable on some of the dead sponges we've been seeing. And a kind of follow-up is one of our viewers pointed out the pillow lava kind of knobby buds. So kind of curious how those get formed, and you know, if these are pretty common or if it's an unusual thing to see on pillow lava like this.
I think you're riding this cliff wall.
Right. Trying to figure out like the best way to get across. Because Argus is still sitting on the eastern side of the trench.
Yeah, I think you are too.
And I am as well.
Yeah.
You want to drop in? Okay, let's do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do it that way, because then you'll be over the trench for sure. That's a good idea. And this edge here is pretty cool. There's a lot of life here. Yeah, I know. Rocks. Gotcha.
There's a question a second ago about the little warty bits on the lava pillows. And you see those sometimes in patches. You see them some areas much more prevalently than others. And I think that means that it had to have been low enough viscosity and sort of cracks where it could have actually been oozed out as those little bits. They didn't have a whole lot of pressure behind them, so they weren't really going real far. But if it was a much more viscous thing, then it wouldn't have been able to squeeze out of those tiny little bits. Other areas, you just don't see them at all. It's sort of a mix.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, those were unusual features popping out.
Okay, I think it's time. Yep. Okay, I'm coming to starboard. And then I'll start dropping down. Coming down. And I'm revising my heading back to 225. I don't see the other side of the trench yet on sonar. Oh, because it's there. There's the other side of the trench. We're over it.
Yeah, look at that. So
Yeah, that's really neat. Okay. Well, we'll fly the other rim now.
So I'm catching up on comments from the dinner break, and Lee was also mentioning that the water tarantula that was mentioned
Yeah.
may have actually been a solitary octocoral. Which is
That's
kind
what
of
Greg
cool.
said.
Ah.
Good job, Greg.
Wow. Oh, and
Can you come down, Greg?
And Allison is chiming in to mention. Mention that the pillow lavas can also be called decorated pillow lavas, which sounds very nice for our continuing deep sea home with ciliate shag carpet and decorated pillow lavas.
That does sound nice.
Are you on SPL? No.
That was a really interesting feature.
Oh. So Darlene or Shannon, have we had a kind of general overview of the geologic history of this area? Yeah, just for a little bit of the big picture context.
We haven't. So that'd be great. Sorry,
Shannon.
I'm actually getting ready to leave.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, sorry, I was just packing up.
No
So
worries.
yes, Shannon is actually, and just FYI, so I'm going to be leaving in a few minutes. I'll be gone for about 20, 30 minutes for the dive planning meeting, and then I'll come back. But Shannon's going to be able to direct from ISC. So over and out.
I'm sorry?
Copy that.
What
Thanks,
are you talking
Darlene.
about? I'm sorry? Oh, yeah, yeah. What does that mean? Oh, schmutz. Yes.
So I can tell you about the geologic history generally of the area if you want.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I
that'd
gotcha.
be great.
I'm tracking here. Like looking at the inside of my lens instead of what's around it. Oh, neat.
So Shannon, we're ready for a quick geologic history when you are. Thanks.
Sounds good. So we've got across the Earth all of these different plates. You hear about plate tectonics. And in the oceans, we've got these spots where they're actually tearing apart. And as they tear apart, it creates a decrease in pressure in the mantle underneath. So mantle is actually normally solid, but decreasing the pressure on it will let it go to liquid, and it will ooze up, and we'll get these lava flows, and also things like dikes and sills where it doesn't finish erupting, but it gets up into the crust and solidifies. We're in one of those mid-ocean ridges right now, and we're actually down a couple steps down into the middle of it. We've got all these faults that are dropping blocks down in the middle. As they move outwards, because they're coming from that middle point, they're going to be spreading outwards, kind of like conveyor belts in opposite directions. They're actually going to go up a little bit because of this overall heat in the area is actually causing the whole thing to swell up. And then as it gets further away, which is beyond the scope of where we're driving around, then they'll actually start sinking again as everything gets cooler and it gets lower with distance. So right now we're very close actually to the middle of that rift. We're not on the lowest step of it, but that's part of what we're doing, is looking across these different steps, getting younger and younger in time today.
Fantastic. Thanks for the overview. Are we on a ridge? This is just
It's totally
stunning.
wild.
Yeah.
It's Half Dome.
It's underwater half dome, yeah.
Oh, wow. I see. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Very cool. That's a great analogy for it.
Yeah, it puts us
I guess,
about
Craig, we'll do
here.
the same thing where I'll follow it off to the left edge of your camera. and then jump down.
All right, for Nautilus Live viewers, I'm also going to pop out of the control van for about 20 minutes. So we'll get to your questions in just a bit. So hang tight. We're doing this geotransect for the next few hours, wrapping up around 4 a.m. with vehicles back on deck, 4 a.m. Pacific time. So keep sending those questions. I'll get them in about 20 minutes. And enjoy the views here.
Sorry about that. Ready? Okay, jumping off. Headed down. Yeah, every time we're on the edge of these cliffs, we lose Doppler.
Yeah, expected.
Okay. Okay, onward.
Gab, you want to turn to 230.
Okay.
This is only my second dive, and on my first dive I learned that there's such a thing as cold water corals and that there's so many of them. Can any of you there tell us a little bit about those and what we're seeing? I guess I caught a change in staff.
It seems to be all operations people in here.
Yeah.
Again, you're totally allowed to make up answers.
I think science is all at the dive plan meeting.
Well, there are scleractinian deepwater corals and gorgonian deepwater corals.
He's not actually making this up.
Gorgonian corals are sort of softer, wavy, flappy in the breeze. So most of what we're seeing here would be scleractinians. I'm sorry, gorgonian. The scleractinians are a rocky coral, and they sort of build large reef-like structures and break off the extremity branches and sort of build up reef type material. We have not seen any of those corals out here that I am aware of. As for what we're actually seeing, I can't really name them.
That's pretty good for an ops guy.
Thank you.
I mean, coral-wise, we've seen some black coral, and we've...
Yeah, most of what we've been seeing is gorgonians and black coral.
Our sea tarantula was likely a single polyp octocoral. And we still have science, don't we? We have
Ashley,
yeah, she's science.
paleoceanographer.
Oh. Just a climate person.
But she's also an intern, so pretty much we are unsupervised.
Yeah. I don't know, does Wayne count? He's a lead.
Gabby, you want to turn to 320?
320. Oh, did you say 320 and I heard 230 last time?
No, that's on me.
Yeah, he actually said 230 last time.
Oh, okay.
I read the wrong one.
Okay. Got it. We were on like a pretty amazing cliff. It was awesome. That's interesting.
It's a brittle star on the move. I've never seen it move that way.
Yeah, when they do the kind of the arm wave thing.
It was pretty cool. Oh.
Squat lobster. What were you just doing, Miles?
So
And terrain going north is pretty much kind of the same.
Kind of looks it.
Or I guess 320, terrain going 320.
Shannon, we've got our invertebrates person back. He's in denial, but he is our invertebrates person.
Bwahaha. Tell me all of the things.
Ben, she wanted to know about corals, deep water corals.
Deep water corals.
Just threw Ben under the bus.
I'm actually not a huge deep sea expert.
This is how you started your talk about the sponges, though. So.
Before you went on for like ever.
Hold on,
We
I'm
don't
trying to find
believe
where the
you
next
at
waypoint
all.
is.
Oh, he's trying
Should
to
But the thing I
nav.
do know about deep sea corals is that they're not aragonite, they're calcite, and that's because
What does aragonite mean?
it's two different forms of calcium carbonate. So when
Okay.
we talk about, you know, like the impact of climate change and the pH of the ocean and how it's causing coral reefs, you know, and all these...
The acidification.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. So the aragonite saturation depth tends to be shallower, so that's where you're undersaturated in aragonite above that. So I think most deep sea corals are actually calcite based because aragonite is just so unfavorable at depth. It's kind of like one of the, and they're heterotrophic. Those polyps are actually foraging and filter feeding, as opposed to relying on symbiotes. So it's a very different kind of mechanism for their energy.
So the shallow water, like warm water corals, don't forage. They rely on something living in them to make food for them?
So they have zooxanthellae, the cyanobacteria that... Cyanobacteria? I think. That, you know, are photoautotrophs, so they get energy from the sun. But I know there's a lot of papers about... They switch, so they can undergo heterotrophic uptake of particulate in the water column. And I think actually coral bleaching in vents, don't quote me on this, but I kind of remember this study at my old institution where during bleaching events, heterotropic foraging was observed and, and was a mechanism for survival. Because those bleaching events are essentially, they're called bleaching because they're whitening of the coral because the zooxanthellae leave. It's unfavorable conditions and they just bounce out of the tissue. So yeah, most people don't think of when you learn about
That
corals and
jelly's
that's
got something.
Oh, whoa.
What you got there? Starfish?
I think those are its actual. I don't
Did you
know.
bring enough for everyone?
I think it might be like foraging tentacles.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm trying to find this waypoint. So I'm going to start tracking a line, if that's okay.
Oh,
So
is there no ship move on right now? It looks like
No.
it was moving for a bit.
I think it was in the middle of the ship move when I came. I've been
Okay.
looking for this target. I should just select
Okay.
it. So it's a kilometer off at 020
Okay.
is the bearing.
020. Got it.
019.9.
But before that, he told us 230.
All right.
Okay. I'm just going to sit here for a second.
Yeah, this is sequentially the next one.
What was that 320?
Yeah, this is the next target.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Unless we're out of order. Okay. I'm going to track a line. It looks like a tunicate. I think those are still sponges. I don't. Maybe it. No, maybe you're right. Maybe that is the benthic stock tunicate stuff.
We're trying to sample one on DFO, but it was like the current was like right at the top.
Oh, God, those currents were insane.
How do you get those? Do you snip the stock or do you?
Yeah, you have coral cutters. The little, like, interlocking jaws.
Yeah. So you guys select a certain.
It's like Edward Scissorhands.
Right. Like actually, scissor hands. But you guys like outfit that manip for what you expect to sample, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody likes it.
What?
The coral
really?
cutters are misery.
They're not sharp enough?
No, it's harder to grab everything else.
Oh, yeah, that's true, I guess.
Yeah, it's like
Because
trying
you're
to grab
grabbing
everything with
the
scissors.
scissors.
There's got pincher fingers on the end, but it's they're really long, and it's very strange.
Imagine that your wrist is all of a sudden 3 inches longer, and you just wake up and your wrist is 3 inches longer, so you go to grab something, you're going to knock it over because you're not used to it.
That's like when I buy new sneakers like these ones and I'm accelerating way too fast.
Gabby, if we have time, do we want to give one of these corals their 15 minutes of fame?
That's an awesome idea. That's what I should have been doing. My hands just needed a break.
That's
okay.
all right. That's okay.
Okay, these are not corals. These are crinoids. But
This
See
purple
the
one.
holothurian?
that's a
Sea cucumber, I think.
yeah. Let's get a. Why don't we get a zoom video?
Okay. Let me.
Let's look at yellow
Iris
palm
down
trees
a
for a bit.
Okay. Sounds good. Zooming in.
I can't hear you.
Get my focus assist here. There it is. There she is.
Wow, those are so neat. Okay, go wide video. I think it's time for me to
wide.
start moving.
Okay. Full wide.
Deep sea.
They get pretty big. Yeah. But when you go to sample when it's just like it deflates, like if you pop it.
Oh, really?
Because it's like, that's what an anemone is. You know what I mean?
Oh, is it really?
It's like cheating. Well,
Okay,
very closely related.
gotcha.
But, you know, morphologically, that's exactly what it looks like, right? Like a
Mhm.
big coral polyp.
Oh, totally.
Who ID'd it? Was Lee here?
Who did
Oh.
I? You ID'd it,
Yes,
and then who backed
Greg.
you up with the like? Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Totally.
that was good. But they used more multi-syllable words, so it sounded more compelling.
Indeed.
Disclaimer, some of our science is fiction.
So for the geotransect, we haven't done any zooming or like, what are
Nothing.
the other things? Yeah. Geologically transiting.
Right. We've been doing a lot of biologically and ecologically transiting, though.
So, but what do they want for, it's not like they're interested in doing a photo mosaic. They're, right.
I think they're just trying to characterize the terrain.
Uh-huh.
So what we're really interested in is how much of the ground in these different steps, bathymetrically, as we go lower and younger towards the middle, what the difference in sediment infiltration is. If you actually look at the bathymetry data as a whole, you see that the interior tends to look a whole lot rougher down that low area where the young stuff is, and much smoother up on the higher steps. And that's presumably because we've got more sediment infill. So we're trying to characterize the morphology of the lava as we go by and how much sediment infill there is.
I see.
Honestly, if you want to do some zooming on stuff as we go by, that's fine. We just want to make sure that we actually have as wide a field of view as we normally can So that way we can characterize broader areas as we are sort of doing these random sample runs through.
I see. Very cool. So you also have this assumption of the age as it relates to depth, and the sediment will kind of substantiate that
Somebody's
as well.
mic, but it might be
What?
me. A mic doesn't sound good. No, it's gone now. Okay. We're good.
I'm back. Was it me?
Oh, yeah, it's happening on yours. But I don't see, I wonder if it's the cord on your collar. Yeah, it's the cord on your collar.
Okay. Okay, I'll stay muted.
Oh no, Wayne, come back. It's all good. I was just wondering what it was.
Rude.
Come back, Wayne.
I'm here. I'm here.
Thanks. We need you.
Okay. And I'll stay wide for ISC. And fight the urge to zoom in on some of the cool stuff.
I know, it's tough, huh?
Yeah. I love these purple guys. The
If you
color.
guys want to do short-term zooms on some of those cool things, that's okay. Just as long
really?
as, for the most part, we keep it in the wide view.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. Just got permission to zoom.
A snappy zoom.
Snappy.
Okay, next purple Halotharian is going to get the zoom treatment.
What's
So are those like pillowy? Is that the morphology of those?
Where's this?
Like in front of us, would that be a
Nudib Is that a
pillowy-
nudibranch? What are you?
You just got permission to zoom on things. We're gonna get lost really soon.
Yeah, we're
Looks
going to
like
get
a
lost.
polychaete.
Can you, oh, polychaete, can you, video, can I get a zoom?
yeah?
Ah, neat. Oh my
Wow.
gosh. We did promise we wouldn't do too much of this.
Is that?
Well, this is a 2-for-1.
Okay. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Let me.
Oh my
I
god.
love the like sinusoid of the Keedy on the sides. It's like we.
There's a regular primary.
Go wider? Okay. Okay.
Okay,
No
coming
more of
wide.
that. Got distracted again.
Okay.
And a rock.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Shannon. That was well worth it. Who was just in here? Oh.
He said you seemed at home.
What? I'm also at home in my bed.
So, Ben, what did you say to characterize the way that polychaetes move?
The pelagic swimming, or
Yeah.
just the way they swim with their Keedy. It's a polychaete, right? Like many legs, those
Yeah.
side legs. You know, they like are scurrying, but
Yeah.
there's like this general
There's like,
a sinusoid condensation of them as whatever is the most efficient way that they do it. I
Yeah.
don't know but you see that they're swimming at it. They're beating those legs at a certain frequency, but then there's like a little wave that
Yeah,
forms
totally.
from how it looks.
yeah, it's amazing. They're really cool. Polychaetes. I'd be seriously creeped out if I met one while I was swimming, though.
I'm sure you have.
Ah,
You know, like fishing bait.
fishing bait?
It's like some sort of legged worm, common one.
Oh.
I don't know.
We got to keep up, and we're not allowed to zoom too much. But if it's super cool like that polychaete was, yeah, totally. Oh. video. Can I get a zoom?
Sure.
Just like a bunch of stuff growing on there. Okay, go wide. We'll keep moving.
Sorry. Way too much.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay,
We'll
coming
keep
wide,
moving.
coming wide.
Yeah.
Full wide.
Thank you. Oh, neat. There he is.
Shannon, it's Darlene.
Oh, Darlene's back.
Hey Shannon, I just want to let you know in today's DearDar, there's a note in there from Josh that gives you guys an estimate of how long it will take to stop the vehicle during a transect tomorrow to take those temperature readings. So it's going to be about an hour worth of time, anytime if you want to stop.
So how is that then different if we just progress at a slower rate overall?
That's, it won't be the same. But anytime you have to stop the vehicle, there are significant impacts. So that's why you got to factor in about an hour for a stop.
Oh, look at this.
That trumpet's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Gotcha, thank you.
See if I can...
No worries. And he's written some nice details into the DearDar just to give you guys a sense of what he means.
Go
I
for
just
zoom.
wanted to give you a heads
Go
up
for
to
zoom.
take a look.
Coming wide.
Okay.
Coming,
Go wide?
Yeah, coming wide. Full wide.
There's
You
a
can zoom on this real quick.
Okay, zooming in.
Wow.
That's beautiful. There's a Depeche Mode album cover. I think it was Music for the Masses, and there were like 3 different speakers that were in red and look kind of like this. It just reminds me. I'm totally dating myself. But
Okay, you can go wide.
Coming wide.
you guys
Okay,
are like
onward.
Depeche Mode.
Full wide.
I'm familiar with Depeche Mode.
And the album cover.
Okay, right on.
Picnigonid.
What's that?
We just passed the Picnigonid.
Oh, the guy in the water column?
Yeah. Swimming along, minding his own business.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with a little bit of turbulence now at this point.
Mm-hmm. Best case scenario.
He was small enough.
The current that rat tail was swimming against. Well, that's not a rat tail.
It's not?
Is it? Was
I
that
think
right?
so. I think so.
Shootsy scores.
I loved that bit you did on the corals earlier. That was really impressive. Oh, it's only ops people in here. Well, let me tell you all about Gorgonian. Gorgonian. Are those the black corals?
Yeah, they're part of it. It's basically any soft coral is a Gorgonian.
Mm. Gregorians are types of chants. Right.
Well, Miles wasn't always an ops person.
Right.
Well, I was an ops person who worked for a biologist.
Oh, okay. My image of Miles's former life is ATVs in the Sahara, I feel like. Or the Namib Desert or something like that,
No,
right?
it's the Sahara.
Okay, yeah.
It was ATVs in Utah and trucks in the Sahara.
Right,
But
roger.
Yes, but yes, the image is correct.
Yeah. It's a good image. It's high drama.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unlike this, which is just unspectacular.
Yeah,
Being ironic.
the worst.
I'm just glad they decided to not do the Nautilus Live reality TV. The studio is going to be a place where you go and talk to the camera and complain about people, you know.
That was never going to be a
It
thing.
was prompted to like be mean about other people,
Yeah.
or only cut to be mean about other people.
Yeah. Only
those
cut to be
things
mean
are.
about other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have your two sentences like, I think Miles is really a great navigator and the weather is really no good. And wow.
And it gets cut to Miles is really no good. And then we all start turning on each other.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. There's video.
I have evidence.
Actually, they say that for, at one point for reality TV shows, if you didn't see the person's mouth,
They didn't
that
say it?
They likely weren't saying it. Or had never said it.
Huh.
You know, that it was just cut pieces of audio.
Mm.
But now they can they
fake
can,
video.
They can do fake video, so that's a weird sponge. I'm just gonna throw
It's
that
a
out there.
beautiful sponge.
This is going to be 25 to 30 meters
Straight
tall,
up.
but we're not going to go. We're going to kind of go over the side of it, but still.
Okay.
The next one, we're definitely going to go up and over.
Okay.
Oh, might as well start flying up and over.
Yep. Gonna do it. It's what I do. It's my job.
This AUV map is incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Do you know what vehicle they did it with?
I do not. I do not know the vehicle that was used.
Do you know the sonar?
I was handed.
What are you good for then?
I was handed data. Here it is.
Tell us about corals. Okay. Yeah, there are. Flying up things is super fun. This is the best part.
That's really pretty. It's all
Yeah.
rooty.
Yeah, this is unbelievably cool.
Should be like a giant avatar tree at the top of this.
Yeah.
Loving how the break and slope so clearly correlates to the change in morphology of the lava.
Oh yeah, this is like Alex's work on land, right? Up in Kilauea.
Yeah, Yeah, so as you go from that downhill to suddenly we're going uphill, where suddenly we have these really long lobe shapes because you got that gravitational pull. They're sort of dripping down, and you're getting this much longer stretch on them than when they're in the flat places.
Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good call.
Ooh, what's that?
It's all about shadows.
What is that?
What's what?
That fish. It's
There's
got
a
like a little nose on it or something.
Oh.
The fish with the nose.
It's kind of cute.
Isn't that rat tail?
I think it's a rat tail as well.
Oh,
It's just a littler one.
oh, pretty cute.
Sure.
But we're not here for biology. Move
Listen,
on.
we got permission from Shannon to occasionally zoom on biology. That's really cool.
Okay.
I threw in the really cool part. She said we could occasionally zoom. I'm drawing the line at things that are only